Hello and welcome to Infamous, the audio podcast. This is Brandon or Mutilus on Discord.
This is Parker, go by One Who Parks on Discord.
This is Jeremy. I go by just Jeremy on the Discords.
And this is Aaron. I go by Treffenwood on Discord and Grindr.
Swipe left, motherfucker.
Wait. I've never used Grindr. Which way is that, the good way or the bad way?
I don't think Grindr swipes, but that's what
I don't think Grindr swipes.
I don't
You
think
just
swipe
click-
on Grindr.
You just click to turn on Grindr and it's just on now.
Yeah.
you just go cock or no cock.
Legitimately, all I know about Grindr is from Always Sunny because Mac
Yep.
uses Grindr.
Mhm.
Anyway, thank you everybody for joining us today. We have some fun and interesting announcements. First announcement, Parker.
Mm-hmm.
You are down to 1,917 more episodes. 1917.
1970 is an auspicious year. I like that.
It is.
Yeah.
Clearly only good things coming from now on.
Yeah.
Wait.
All right.
Down to? Is that
Yeah.
that the actual direction? I don't think that's down.
Oh,
Yep.
I'm constantly trending downward.
Is that like south is down?
That's
No.
true. I mean, if you had to describe the direction of the trend, it would be down.
That's true.
With a few
Much like
notable
the
stair steps
Hindenburg.
directly
Yeah.
upward.
Unlike the Hindenburg, though, Parker managed to keep that shit going for years.
Mhm.
Let it ride.
Train's got no brakes.
It's like those really shitty CW dramas, Supernatural, that just somehow every season just seems to the situation gets worse, yet they win every season. You're like, how is this possible?
Mhm.
Anyway, Parker, I have an idea.
Hmm?
Let's make a bet.
Oh, I love bets.
Oh, hey.
I would like to bet.
Funny you mentioned that.
I would like to bet that you go over 2,000 episodes before you go under 1,000.
How much would you like to bet? So wait,
That's your call. I'll let you pick the amount.
you want to bet me that I will go over 2,000 before I go back under 1,000.
Yeah.
I'm
feel
looking
like
at the
this
other
is-
bets right now, the pending bets, and I don't think I can take that bet.
Well, that's okay because you can make more bets.
I feel like
Oh,
this is
When in
exactly
doubt, bet your way out.
It's
That's how
exactly
it
the
works.
scene in Dumb and Dumber. I don't bet. Oh, I'll get you.
I bet you will bet. It's like, well, I won't though. It's like 2-1, no. 5-1, no. 10-1, you're on.
I don't know
What?
how, but I'm gonna get you.
I'm gonna fucking get you.
You're not gonna get me. Okay, I will bet you. So basically, what this means is if I ever hit a 2,000 or plus, I just add more to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is it's free money at this point.
Right. So it's free real estate. Let's
What
go
are they
ahead
gonna
and
do? Break my legs again?
Yeah. So if I win, I go down. If I get to 1,000, I actually go way lower to 1,000 potentially. That's another way
Yeah.
to think of it.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and bet 500. That's what I want to do. Because that
All
way,
right.
if I get below 1,000, I'm going to go way below 1,000. And now I have impetus to go bet some more.
All right, now John is probably rolling over in his accountant's chair right now.
You think that's where he
So-
listens to this podcast?
Yeah.
He just sits down in
Yeah.
his accountant's chair, wraps his fingers lightly, and listens for bets.
I feel like you're using the
I
worst.
just assumed that's where he just sits upright in his chair when he supposedly sleeps.
Mm.
Every time you bet is like you're using the wrong kind of coupon. You're like, if I buy 7 more, I can get 10 cents off, though. No,
This is like Kohl's. This is like Kohl's dollars. I get back in the door,
that's true. There you go.
and then I spend more.
It's
money.
like Dave and Buster's dollars. You just keep the money moving in a circle, and you profit. So let's put some odds on this, because clearly it's more likely you hit 2,000 based on trends.
Mhm.
So let's say I'll give you 4-1 odds.
So if you get below 1,000, how does that work?
You would lose 2,000 episodes. No, sorry. If you go over, it could really be either way you want. So with 4-1 odds, it just multiplies the bet in your favor by 4. So if you bet 500, you'd be gaining 2,000. So you'd have 1,000 credit episodes.
Whoa!
I know you wouldn't even know what that looks like. But
Wow, that's the green.
or you could bet like 125 and get the payout of 500.
Right. If you're doing 4 to 1, let's go ahead. Let's try this. Let's do 250. I like that. Can we do 250 at 4 to 1? I like that. Let's try that. Because that way, I like that. Let's try that.
Okay, we got it. Now let's see how it goes. I'm really banking on you lose the shocker bet at this point. All right, well, we got
Shocker's gonna be. I gotta get a little lower. Shocker.
That's gonna be brutal.
Shocker's a long shot.
For people that don't remember, Parker bet 200 episodes that Shocker will not be able to apply the shock condition to people
because he doesn't shock people. Continue.
Yeah. I'm going to give you Will Pagani's private phone number, and you can talk with him about it after it gets spoiled.
I don't want to know till it happens. I want to see that. I want that glory to wash over me like a warm blanket.
I can't wait until like Scorpion's next up on the block, and you're like, he won't be able to poison people. He shoots acid, and we're like, oh god, not again. Like Parker, not again. All right. So some other fun announcements. First off, I want to give a shout out to our #1 fan, Mo. I met Mo at Adepticon. I totally spaced on giving you a shout out last week. Thanks for being an avid listener and following us around to conventions. Unfortunately, Jeremy was dying, so we had to leave. So he didn't get to meet you.
This is the famous Mo that we should have absolutely met in LVO.
Yes.
How we stalked another man for a while.
We literally found somebody that met Mo, that was up to Mo's description and stood next to his table for 10 minutes like, does he not know what we look like? And they were like, are you Mo? And he's like, no. And we just like, shit. Then we wandered around for another 10 minutes, couldn't find him.
Yeah.
But yeah,
we care
so
about
I met Mo at
Mo.
Adepticon. He was a very nice person.
Yeah, we have put lots of time. I'm glad you finally met him.
Mm-hmm. I mean, to be fair, he walked up behind me and tapped me on the shoulder, so it was just turnaround's fair play.
Oh, yeah. Well, you're so recognizable.
And then, I said I was going to be the idiot in the Hawaiian shirt. And then, fucking Dan from Cedar Rapids, Iowa, fucking wore the exact same shirt as me at Adepticon. I had to go change into another Hawaiian shirt.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I saw both of you. I was like, holy shit, it's happening.
Yeah, I know.
He's a trendsetter. Look at this guy.
I'm starting a cult. Yeah. All right. And then the final announcement, which is the big one. Infamous is going to the WTC. We haven't named our team yet, although Team Infamous is sounding pretty good so far, so we'll figure it out. But just for quick announcements, it is myself, Jeremy, Aaron, Aaron England, which is not going to be confusing at all, from Des Moines, Iowa, and also Aaron's son, Perrin, who is also at LVO with us. So we are excited about that. We'll have more information following, but we're pretty pumped about the WTC in general. Anybody want to say anything about WTC?
Pray for me getting a passport. Apparently they are 7 levels of hell right now and taking fucking forever. So I'll be getting that.
Definitely get on that right now then.
Yeah.
There's two different speeds you can get them at. There's an expedited version. Well, there's 3 different speeds. There's the regular version, which takes forever. The expedited one is usually within a month. And then the super expedited one is usually within a week, but it's like $500 to expedite it.
Mm-hmm.
Just do the regular, and you can always log on to the system and expedite it later if you need to.
Yeah.
I don't think the regular expedite is that much more expensive. I think it's only like $20 or $50.
Maybe true.
But yeah, if you do it now, there should be plenty of time.
That's the plan.
Excuse me. Sorry. All right. Moving on. Parker, can you tell me what's next?
News.
Hey,
news.
I am very excited about the news today. It's short, but it's very sweet. And I really want to know what you guys think about it. So here we go. We know George Tartleton's cards. That is MODOK, the new MODOK that's coming out. We know that he is going to come with 2 new cards. One called Mind Games, and the other is called Simpleton. I'll do it myself. Let's talk about Mind Games first. Here we go. It's an unaffiliated card. What?
Go ahead. I just noticed something I did not notice earlier.
Mind Games is an unaffiliated card. George Tarleton can play it, so that's MODOK the first or MODOK the second.
That's what I noticed.
Yeah, they're
That's
for
why I
both.
said that's why I said it that way.
Yes.
If he is within 2 of an enemy character, he can spend 3 to play it. And it gets kind of crazy from there. I'm going to try to explain this as best I can. There are 5 experiment tokens that you divide into 2 piles in any way that you want. Each pile must contain at least 1 experiment token in it. I mean, you can't have a pile of 5 or 0. After you flip all experiment tokens to their MODOK side, you present both piles to your opposing player, so they do not know what's in the stacks, basically. Then the opposing player must choose one of the 2 piles, like left hand, right hand, and reveal all the tokens. For every zap revealed, the chosen enemy that you targeted suffers 1 damage. For each sap revealed, they lose 1 power, and George Tarleton gains a power. If a reward, which is like a little flag symbol, is revealed, the player who you targeted, that player scores 1 victory point. If the reward is not revealed, George Tarleton's player gains 2 victory points.
I have a question.
Yeah.
How do you know there's 5 tokens?
Isn't that in the...
There's another picture.
Yeah. There's
Okay.
a
I didn't
picture
see
of his
the
card.
picture. I was just curious.
Yeah, there's a picture of his card. Yeah. Picture of his cardboard card. There's 5 tokens on it.
Ah, there's a picture of the chit sheet.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Cool. So I assume there's 2 zaps, 2 saps, and 1 reward token.
Correct.
That's very cool. Oh, you didn't read the last line.
What?
Did he? Did I just miss
If
it?
the reward is not revealed, you gain 2. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
I
Sorry.
said that. Yeah.
This card's nuts. This is very cool.
Nuts because of how, like, mind gamey it is, literally, or nuts because it's actually a strong card? What do you mean?
I think both.
Mhm.
And so, just if we just say you have a 50% chance of gaining 2 victory points, how does that sound?
Not good.
That sounds very.
no.
That doesn't sound good.
Coupled with the 50% chance to lose a victory point.
Sure.
Yeah. I actively do not like this card.
So what I like to think of is what you're effectively going to do is put both the zaps in the pile with the reward token. It's like, do you want a victory point for 2 damage? And then they go yes, and you're like, I'm fine with this.
Okay.
Depending on the situation, I think it's worth it.
I think.
Now, obviously, if they have like 12 plus points, you're not going to do it. But
I think there will be games where this the entire game comes down to your opponent picking a 50-50 choice. Right? Oh, pick left hand. If I had to pick right hand, I won. Instead, I pick left hand, so you won. Like, that does not sound like an enjoyable game of Marvel to me.
Yeah, I was floored, Brandon. I thought you were going to hate this card with a passion because you hate it when, like, the skill of the game is not the thing to decide it. It's just a coin flip, and it's taken away. In the same way that a dice roll can just, in the old scenario style, where a dice roll would just do, +2, -2 victory points, and you just hated that. I felt like this is that in card form, which I thought you
totally
would
disagree.
Really?
So if you just said shuffle them and divide them into 2 piles, then yes, I would agree. If it was, and then also like I'm trying to think of the times you would play this card.
Well,
I
first
see
of all,
this more.
your George Tarleton has to be close to somebody, which isn't always easy
Sure.
to do.
He's got bow. Like, it's not that hard.
But then you have to spend 5 over the turn to do it. So
Sure. No, it costs a lot of power. But anyway, I see this more as like a double agent kind of thing. It's like its power level is actually based on the skill and understanding of the player playing it, as opposed to it's just really strong on its own. Because if you give this to a newer player and they don't understand what's happening, it's just as likely to be bad as good, just like Aaron was saying earlier.
So I don't
But
even
if you're
think...
like,
Go ahead.
you can walk up or like stand next to a character that has 1 or 2 hit points and play mind games. And it's like, or like, just perfect example. You walk to a character who has 1 hit point. I play mind games. You are dead. Next action. Like, I don't care if you get a victory point or not.
I think that's the best use case of the card, especially when you combine it with Punisher. Like, you pick whichever hand you want. Like, I score a victory point.
Right. Or you do like a pile of like, you do both the zaps and 1 sap and then the reward token. It's like, okay, pick that one. I don't care. Like, it's gonna be so punishing that I don't even care that you get a victory point.
2 saps and a damage? or 2 damage
I
on the
think that's.
sap, I would
No.
gladly take those in exchange for a victory
I
point.
think that's why they don't let you put all 5 in one stack, because you would do it every time.
Right, 2, 1, and 1. Right, so you get 2 of take your pick, power or damage,
Right.
1 of the other, and then the victory point goes to them.
Until you start mind gaming it, and you put the reward token in the other pile.
Hold
You
on.
are correct.
Hold on. You could definitely do 2 saps and 2 damage in one stack.
Yes, but then the assumption is that your opponent wouldn't pick it because it's 4 points.
Right.
But then the counter logic, it's just like Netrunner, right? Then the counter logic is like, well, he wouldn't just put the reward pile token in a pile by itself until he does,
And
then you're like, oh my god.
And that's what I actually like about this card is what we
Yes.
just said, which is it is actually a cool mind game. If you just make it a 50-50 choice, that's not a mind game, right? That's just a coin flip, and that's not a mind game. I don't like it when it's done like that. I think it's more interesting where if I play this card, if I ever do, I will always do 4 and 1, always. And then I will decide, okay, do I want to try to be tricksy and put the reward with the other stuff, or do I want to actually just go ahead and say, I want my 2 power back, I want this character to take 2 damage, or I want 2 victory points? Those are the 2 scenarios. Because I think if you told me pay 3 power, either score 2 victory points or do 2 damage and get 2 power back after you play this card, I don't know if that's a bad card. That seems like a good card. So I would never do 3 and 2. I think I always do 1 and 4. I think.
If you want to auto kill them, you split up the damage if they have 1 left. So that's a possibility.
There you go. If they have 1 damage and you want to auto kill them, that's true. But the cool thing is if you do the 4 and 1 and you do it early and they're not getting out, and you would like for them to have 2 auto damage and 2 power back. Now you still have tempo, right? You still have power to do more stuff, like throw and modify your dice if you are MODOK 1 and.
I don't know. The floor on that card is so fucking low. Pay 3 power
low.
and give your opponent a victory point. Like, it's the exact opposite of interrogate.
Pay 3 power, give your opponent a victory point, and gain 2 power back and do 2 damage is, I think, what I will always want it to be.
Sure. I don't know. Victory
The
points are
fact that it
sacred in
just
this
does
game.
the fact that it just can do 2 straight up damage as a tactics card, that's not preventable, really, like outside of damage reduction. And honestly, most damage reduction doesn't stop it either. I think that's really good.
Most will reduce it to 1, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's
Unless
one instance of 2 damage.
For each, yes. Yes, for each. So if you do 2 points of damage, they have DR, they would stop 1 normally.
Yeah.
So in that case, that's actually a good example of maybe you do 1 damage in each pile so that they're automatically taking
It
1.
depends. Yeah.
Unless it's Juggernaut, then it takes 0.
Right.
No, it's still 1. It's either 1 source or 2 sources. It can't be both.
I'm saying if you split the damage and you do it into a DR
But if it
character,
split the
then DR
damage-
0.
Yeah, I'm specifically talking about ones that cannot be
Oh,
redeemed.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Anyway,
Anyway,
it's a good, fun
Yeah.
card. I personally don't like it.
Jeremy, did you have any thoughts on this?
Yeah, but my thoughts are combined with the other card as well.
Okay. So let's do the other card then.
Okay. So I love the flavor of this card. I love of what it means and what it does. It's great. Unaffiliated active card. If you have fewer VPs than your opponent, George Tarleton can spend 2 to play the card. Choose an ally character within 3 of him that is holding or contesting an objective token. If the chosen character was holding an objective token, Tarleton is now holding that token. If the chosen character was contesting an objective token, place George within 1 of that objective token. Then the chosen character is KO'd. You immediately score 1 victory point. This card does not allow a character to hold more tokens than the crisis specifies. So in a nutshell, pick a friendly within 3 who's either contesting or holding an objective, steal the objective, KO them, teleport to the objective they're contesting, KO them. They're the 2 different options. And then immediately score 1.
So my thoughts is the thing that I think could be good is if MODOK ever comes within 3 points of winning the game at 16, this goes back to the old-timey I auto-win with 3 points. He can pull that off. Gain a point from this, gain 2 points for the other one, you lose. It can just happen for 5 power.
Well, if this is your only way to gain victory points, you don't auto-lose at 16 anymore. It's not like you get to 16 the game's over immediately. Your opponent does have an opportunity to try to win anyway.
Well, no, you do. You win as soon as you get to 16. Like,
Correct.
you don't finish the turn. If you get to 16, the game ends.
Wait, I thought that was changed with...
No, you're thinking of the mission
they just
change.
changed. Yeah,
Oh,
they changed
that
the
one
mission
mission.
to not score in the middle of the turn.
That's
Yeah.
what it is. Okay, so the fact that 16 auto wins is still a thing, but it's just
Yep.
that mission
Yes.
that was commonly doing.
No,
it
there
is not
isn't
doing it
a good
anymore.
way to do
I
it
see.
aside from the handful of things out there. But this gets
Right.
added in the pile, and this is within 3. I mean, there's a plenty of games where you're right on the edge. Like this can hop you 3, which is basically a turn
So you know the most degenerate way to play this card?
with a
Is with
grunt.
Lockjaw. Lockjaw. No, grunts cannot. So grunts cannot be chosen as characters.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
So
Bob, can't you choose Bob? He doesn't die.
You can choose Bob.
he would die because Bob's special ability only applies to when damage is placed on him. If he is straight up KO'd, he just leaves. The only character that gets around this is Hela, because she can revive from KO with her soul tokens, or any character you want in last minute save.
There's another one.
Okay, what's your other one?
Dark Restoration to bring back a 3 or less point model.
Sure, but
They do get KO'd, but they can come back. Also, I think Ultron.
okay.
Does Ghost Rider? Maybe Ghost Rider does too. With his text.
I
think
believe
so.
Ghost Rider does also.
Yeah.
Yeah, if Ultron is KO'd, comma, and then deal with the devil says if Ghost Rider is KO'd, comma. So yeah, but the Ghost Rider one would be really good because you would actually potentially gain an activation as well. And it costs less power.
I just think the Lockjaw is actually good. The other ones are kind of meme worthy, to be honest. But Lockjaw, like, so the other ones you're actually KOing characters, right? It's not Ghost Rider or Ultron, but you're sending someone to the garbage heap and paying a bunch of power for it. If Lockjaw plays save, okay, who cares about Lockjaw's power for the most part? You are just able to reposition a model away from harm to Lockjaw while using them as a teleport range 3 to get MODOK where he needs to get to. So I think there's something in that synergy that's really good.
Also, I didn't hear you point this out. I think this is like the field dressing situation. You don't actually take damage for being KO'd, and you don't flip your card for being KO'd.
Yep.
Right.
So if you play this card on somebody with 1 health, and you play last minute save, with 1 damage, they're now full healthy side.
Yep.
Wait, what? Say it again.
Because KOing somebody does not apply damage or flip their card. So let's say you had Captain America had 1 damage on him, and you play Imbecile Do It Myself or whatever, and then you play last minute save because they've been KO'd. It says remove a damage; they are no longer KO'd, so they heal 1 of where they were before they were KO'd. Which in that situation they only had 1 damage on them, so now they're just back to full health.
Oh, they only had 1 damage at all.
Yeah. Or if they had 4, they come back with 3.
Because it's
Yeah.
right,
Yes.
exactly.
Right. Okay.
Because
I was
it's just a status effect. They gain KO'd, and you're removing the KO'd.
Got it. Yes, that makes sense. For some reason, I thought you meant like he had 1 health left on him, and then he goes back to full. And I was like, wait,
let's pretend like you're playing Mal Cabal, like with Mal, MODOK, and the dog, and you throw Mal up there, and he just owns people. But now the opponent's going to get a turn. You're like, actually, I'm going to play this card. Like MODOK's going to take his place, port 3, own a bunch of shit, and then he's going to send Malekith back to wherever the dog's at, obviously within 3, and away from harm. I don't know. Like I said, I think there's something strong in that.
Also, MODOK wouldn't mind. New MODOK wouldn't mind the dog at all because he just passively gains a lot of power for MODOK to spend and place. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of things the dog does for MODOK in general.
Yeah, but you can put hits on the dog.
Outside, yeah, exactly. Outside of Lockjaw, I actually think this card's really bad. So new MODOK specifically gets to Hail Hydra, anyone within 2. You are removing that possibility by KOing them instead.
Well, they might only have 1 health left or something too, and maybe your opponent's activated out or something. There's situations.
I agree. There are possibilities. I just think the fact that you have to be behind on VPs means you're not using this to score out the game, absent some trickery that Jeremy can come up with. So yeah, if you're actually just using it to KO a character to gain a VP and reposition MODOK, I think it's lukewarm at best and probably actually bad.
A lot of games are close at the end nowadays because of the mission change. So you could be down 13-14 or 13-15.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can't let your opponent get to 15. That's
However,
the problem.
if they get to 15 and you lose the coin flip, that's really bad.
Yep, you just lose.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is one of the things about this one that I think it looks really cool, and it is, but there are actually a number of dominoes that have to set up, and not all of them are in your control necessarily. I feel like it's not exactly a Rube Goldberg, but maybe I'm wrong, and this is like, oh man, if I have so many opportunities to play this, but I think the number of things you'll have to do to get this thing to actually happen will lower its value a bunch.
Yep, AMG did such a good job with recent releases of not putting conditions on when cards had to be played, and this one undoes some of that progress they made.
Yeah, it is so conditional in a couple ways.
I feel like you have to. This one has to be conditional. I think.
Yes.
Like it'd be too good. Yeah.
I agree. I don't think this is wrong to make it conditional, and I don't know. I don't know if it's bad yet. I think I'd have to see it or try to play it. But it has enough conditions to make me go, man, when is this going to happen?
I'll absolutely test it out, but I don't see it making my 10 after testing. I hope I'm wrong.
I think it's fine. I mean, I don't know that I'll play it, but I think it's a clever card.
That's actually, I started the whole thing with, I love the concept of this card, of, him getting so mad that they weren't doing a good enough job, and just like icing them.
Kills them.
Yeah, just like gacking them in the back of the head, and it's like, I'll do it. I love that you get a victory point for doing it, because everyone's like, oh shit, we better help. I don't want to get killed, and he's in the middle of it now, like doing something. I think if you were going to make a card do that to kind of show you how frustrated he is with everybody because he thinks they're all so stupid and beneath him, I think he does a really good job of transmitting that. Tip of the hat to AMG for thinking like, can we make him hate the other people on his team and get a benefit from it somehow? Like, that's a cool concept.
Yeah.
I also like the idea
definitely...
of like Spider-Woman, running over and fucking with a 2-pointer or whatnot. And you're like, oh, I'm going to interrogate and ruin your day. You're already injured, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, how about I put a MODOK right there and then smoke you instead? Like, because there's plenty of 2-pointers that are just dead, right? They're dead in the water and they're just waiting to die. So it could be possible to flip that switch and just be like, change the scenario around.
Ooh, hold on. Can he target a dazed model?
No. Well, I mean, it depends on what Nolzor says, but he shouldn't be able to.
I don't think so.
Based on precedence.
I concur.
But that's never stopped them before. Sure. I can't remember. Are we allowed to play the game again, or is it still broken from the last forum ruling?
Oh, they I think they deleted that.
Did they delete the post? Yeah, where they literally made the game unplayable.
They locked it up again.
For 2 hours, the game was locked. Yeah, it's good now.
Characters can't gain activated tokens when you play Follow Me.
Oh, that situation.
Strong ruling, bro. Anyway, so speaking of flipping the switch, Jeremy, you forgot to mention the best Tactics card interaction with Simpleton. Are you ready for it?
Go.
Are you sitting down?
I'm ready.
Your body's ready?
I'm braced. I'm as clenched as I could be.
All right. So you're going to have an injured model. Just picture this in your head. An injured model that you deem to be expendable. Standing on a point.
Yep.
Things are starting to go sideways. Your opponent spikes some dice rolls. They've only got like 1 or 2 hit points left. And you play Simpleton targeting Sentinel Mark IV.
Oh, God.
And then, in response to the model being KO'd, you play Scrap Metal, which means that he explodes when he dies.
You made up a bomb.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's going to stun all other characters within 2, and also you roll 5 dice, and all damaging effects auto-inflict damage.
Wait.
That'd be sweet.
Are you telling me I'll finally be able to attack and destroy my own Sentinel on my own team?
And force it to explode.
Hell yeah! I'm in.
I mean, that's some turn 1 researcher jank right there.
Yeah, it's going to be good. You're like, oh, did you put 5 people in the middle? Oh, man, that's going to suck for you.
They're like, why did you double move your Sentinel? Just wait.
He just Frankenstein's right on top of the point and explodes. Oh my god.
Well, my favorite is like, they get it injured the first time. Then you play online and operational. It goes back to healthy. Then they injure it again. You're like, fuck it, you can have it. It's just boom! Catch, motherfucker. It's going to be great. Or you could just last minute save it after it explodes. So you could do Simpleton into Scrap Metal, into last minute save, into online and operational, all in a row. and then you'd still have a healthy Sentinel, and it would explode and teleport and all of that.
And you still
Okay, hold
manage
on.
to
Does
lose.
that actually work? I think so.
It does work.
Yeah, because they're both on would be KO'd. Oh, that is cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be hilarious.
You're like, okay, get ready. Everyone grab your
Mhm.
butts.
All right, so we've come up with the full Ron Burgundy, which we've talked about previously on the cast. We got to come up with a nickname for doing this. Is if you play...
Is it Shooting the Moon? It sounds like Shooting the Moon.
I feel like we got to name it after a person, right?
Okay.
So I actually like that with Lockjaw though, because he's actually not KO'd.
Yeah, he doesn't end up dying. He actually goes from 1 hit point to full health. Because you're already, if you're playing the scrap metal package, you're already playing Lockjaw and Last Minute Save. You might as well just slot in MODOK. Because you already have the dog, which is good with MODOK and the Sentinels. The list actually is very intuitive.
I think it's like a top of turn 1.
Top of 1.
No, sorry, top of 2. Like you
Oh,
double
okay.
move to the middle. It is a react ability, so you can explode yourself, be saved,
Mhm.
be back to full health, and have your activation.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm on board.
Oh my god.
No, this is going to be fun. It's going to happen. All right. That's all I had. Anybody got anything else for these cards?
No, sir.
I was super pumped in the Discord channel, and then I realized that I had misread allied character for enemy character, and I thought that you chose an enemy holding an objective, killed them, and
Oh,
took
wow.
their objective. I was like, this is the most broken thing I've ever seen.
Finally.
I was like,
Finally a card
oh,
that does it.
Thanos is up points. I guess Thanos is KO'd. I literally thought it was their answer to the tall meta.
Wow,
They're just going to let you start head chopping people. Like,
Yeah. When you posted capital what question mark exclamation point question mark exclamation point, I was like, yes, what? What? And you're
I
like,
was like,
it's
what the fuck?
oh,
The finger of God.
Yeah, I literally thought it was like, wow, they want MODOK to be the most played model in the game. I thought we already played this.
As a Crimson main, I'm very underwhelmed. Competitively.
Why do people say Crim Sim instead of just criminals?
Crimson, Criminal Syndicate? I don't know.
Okay. It's just a weird acronym.
I'm a weird kind of guy.
All right. So that's going to wrap up the news. Moving on. Do you want to talk about our list for the team tournament, or is that going to be kept secret?
I don't
don't
have
think-
one because I don't know my teammates yet, so
Nice.
I'm playing something.
I'll play something.
You guys can talk.
No, it's fine. Because I don't know if we want to go and do our whole team breakdown stuff, so it's fine. We'll move past it. We'll wrap it up next week, and we'll talk about what happened.
yeah.
Cool.
All right, so that's going to move us into our main topic today. This is something I talked with Tim Simpson about in Chicago during Adepticon, and I've come to notice that there's some people like playing with priority, and some people like playing like a more of a wide list that has the last activation. And I think it has a lot more to do with the player than it does like the list, because it seems to be no matter what I do, I gravitate towards tall lists. I like having priority, and it's just like I feel like when I go to play the game and I don't have priority, I feel like I'm always on the back foot, regardless of the situation, even if I actually have a strong board position, and it just doesn't feel right. I don't know what to do. I'm like kind of like fumbling my way through it so often. And Jeremy, I want to say that you fumble your way through games or anything, but it feels like you definitely feel more comfortable with priority. Is that correct?
Yes. I don't like be hit. Like I like doing the hitting, and if you
You don't like sitting there and watching while stuff unfolds in
yes,
front of you.
I'd rather be the one who creates the situation
Right.
than have to respond to a situation. I
Yeah.
think that's
You
what you're
wanna
talking to about.
You want to tie the pretzel, not untie the pretzel.
Yes.
Just wanna
Was
And
that
we
about-
talked
was-
about
That was about sex, wasn't it?
yes, is
Oh.
the pretzel bit.
I just want to eat the
Um,
pretzel.
We talked about this a little bit we talked about this a little bit last week when you were recounting your matchup in the team up tournament with Aaron, and every turn you're like, all right, I'm doing this, and Aaron's like, no, let's pass, and you're like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, we need to kill this guy right now.
Yeah.
It's Black Widow, it's okay if she attacks you, and you're like, no, she's gonna kill Hulk, it's the only way. And so I just started thinking about that while I was at Adepticon and I was talking with Tim about it. And we got on the topic of, is it just a playstyle difference? Is it a tactics difference? Is it a strategy versus tactics kind of conversation? Or is it just like you're drawn to attrition or not attrition? Because not every tall list plays attrition. Most of them do, but that you don't have to. Like, we've seen a lot of lists that don't play attrition that were tall in the past. So I just want to get your guys' thoughts on the situation.
I also think you have a middle ground there too. I think there's the 5+ models, there's the list of 4, and then there's 3 and less, right? Like, so
Right.
there's some people that don't mind playing in the middle water, which I hate that too.
Mm-hmm. Aaron, I know we've talked about in the past, like some players will have it down to scripted pretty much. It's like, I want priority. I get a matchup. They've already done the math on what they think you're going to play, and they just reverse engineer the list they have to play to either have or not have priority.
I think that's the most important decision you can make in the game. You should stop and say, do I want prio or not? If your opponent had prio, you going one model more than them is horrible, because that means they can kill a model and still not give you prio. So you generally at that point want to match their model count to like dare them to just kill anyone.
Or just overwhelm them to the point where they can't fight you, right? Like,
Yep.
go like 2 or 3 plus.
I think we talked about it earlier, but my LBO games, I won 1 and lost 1 into X-Men with the exact same roster because of the way they built theirs. One was super wide, and that's what they needed for the scenario, and one was not. And I was able to leverage that. So deciding how wide you want to be is more important than picking the actual characters.
Which one was? You said you won 1 and you lost 1 because of the size of the number of characters they had. Are you saying the
Correct.
person who went very wide got an advantage, or the person who went less wide had an advantage?
Wide. So it was Spider Portals, Montesi, and they had prio, and they went 1 wider than I did, which meant that they were able to go after me on every spiral portal to overflip it, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
In the first game, we were the exact same width, so they had the same number of models as I did. So they always had to move first onto the spider portal, get ported off. I could then move up, take the spider portal. It enabled me to get parity on X-Men, or with X-Men, against X-Men rather, in a scenario that I should have been disadvantaged on.
Right.
So opponent number 2, going wider, I think won them the game. Obviously, we played it out, blah, 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 blah. But they were advantaged into that game heavily because they went wider than I did.
I think a lot of players, when they start the game, they get kind of myopically focused on their own game plan, and they go, okay, well, this is a 17-point game. What kind of characters can I put into my roster? How big can I get? How much can I push my agenda with the 17 points I got? Well, I can do that with 3 characters, 4 characters, 5 characters. What they're not looking at is their opponent going, okay, well, I think my opponent's going to play 5 characters, so I need to play 6, which is really hard, so I guess I'm playing 5 also. Or, well, you know what? I think they're going to play 5. I don't think I can play 5 and get an advantage, so I'm going to play 4 and use prio as an advantage. Or play 3 and kill kill one of their characters and still keep that prio advantage. Like, these are things you can, when you're looking at the number of characters that you're about to put on the table, you can start asking these kind of questions. And a lot of players don't at the very beginning, because they're still trying to learn to play their list. Once you get your list down, then you can start looking at your opponents and making those kind of things. I think. Go ahead.
I still don't, for the most part, even though I just said it's the most important thing you can do. Because, like, sometimes I look at my list, my opponent's list, and they'll come out with some completely fucked up squad that I'm like, I had no clue they were going to play, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
sometimes it's scripted, like Mystique Brotherhood on Senators, you know what they're going to drop. Other times you're like, okay, he's playing Convocation with Mal, Hulk, and Ghost Rider, Sexy Strange, like, and all the 3s. Like, well, he could go wide, he could go tall. I have no idea what this person's play preferences, so it's kind of a crapshoot. Do I want to lean tall or lean wide? But it's really hard to actually decipher what models are going to play.
The more flexible you go on like the width of your roster, the less redundancy you obviously have, and so you won't have. I like to have the opportunity to swap out specific models in different games. For example, like when I play Hydra, I like having Omega Red and Venom. Rarely will I ever play them together, but in some matchups I want Venom, some matchups I want Omega Red. And it just kind of depends.
I would say, since I haven't weighed in on what like is my preference, I almost always want more opportunities. Like I want more opportunities to play, and so I very rarely ever play a tall list ever. Even when I'm playing a tall model, like I'm purposely playing A-Force to get out of that feeling, but I won't leave it completely because I'm purposely playing an affiliation that will let me play 2-pointers in affiliation that can't score, so I can still go a little wider when I want to. I love, and sorry, actually, I would say I hate not having opportunities because I took big models. I went, okay, well, I only have 6 actions this whole round. I got to make these 6 actions amazing. I go, nope, I want 10 actions. 10 actions sounds great. I would really love to have 10 different actions I can use this round to do any combination of things I want to get all the things done. I want to collect every point. I want to kill everybody. I want to do all these things as much as I can. So that's what I always break it down is the number of things I get to do every turn, or every round rather. The number of things I get to do every round. I want that to be maximized, and that means I don't go tall.
And so that's more of a quantity over quality type situation, though. It's
Right.
like you want the redundancy of more attempts.
Yes.
That way, if either you make a mistake or like RNG fails you, or your opponent like makes a play that cancels out your turn, it's more of a I get another chance situation.
Right. But I think that's a preference. I think some people get really burned and they really don't like when that happens. And I'm saying I am that. I hate when I lose the opportunity. So I go, I need to play lists that give me that redundancy, that chance for opportunity, or I'm going to immediately, not like this game I just played.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I have some
I
thoughts.
understand that.
I want to hear Jeremy though.
I mean, the only thing that I can say is when you're looking at when you were talking about looking at your opponent's list, and you're like they can do anything. Like it doesn't matter. Like they've got some big, some small, some and their tactics cards don't lean a certain way, and it's kind of a mess. And those are basically the worst for me, because I'll look at that and say, well, I guess I'll play the models that are best into that and do my best with it. And most often I will come up and have an extra model in there, and I can't get priority back. And I feel like I can play, if I have priority, much better than I can if I'm scrambling, especially if I don't have priority and I only have 4 models. Like I hate when I have 4 and you have 4 and we're playing like 17. That is miserable because it seems like you can never get priority back when you need it. And you at least for me, that's when I play, that's what I end up seeing.
And it's extra punishing because when you are at an equal or very similar model count and your opponent's able to down a model before you activate, it's extra punishing because that model is such a higher percentage of your force.
Mm-hmm.
And so it just compounds the issue that you're already dealing with.
And I always wonder, just the one last thought, when I'm doing that or playing one way or the other, I always wonder like which way is actually better. And I mean, I don't know that we'll come up with that, or I don't know that there is that, but I always wonder that. Is there one that's like actually better? I don't know.
Aaron, did you want to cover your thought before I move us into another direction in this conversation?
I do. So I consider fun to be a variable sum game in Marvel. There are games when both you and your opponent had a great time, like positive fun. There are games when one person had a really bad time, and the other person either felt bad because they just rickrolled their opponent, or they're a sadistic asshole named Constance that is just like, I will suck up your fun and use it to my benefit.
Excuse me, I learned it from your son.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, I have played some degenerate tall lists. Like, I can play them, they're fine. But I prefer playing what I consider to be lists that enhance our communal fun. And I don't find tall lists do that because they can be so tilting. And you can just, yeet people off the board before they even get to activate. Yeah, you guys know the drill. So when you're playing 5-on-5, usually those are the most fun games of Marvel. So I tend to gravitate toward those, especially in my my casual list, but even competitive. It doesn't have to be priority I want wide. It just has to be I can play tall. I just don't find those games as engaging with my opponent as they could be.
Okay. So the next conversation the next direction we were gonna take with this is I noticed a trend when I started thinking about the ways that I recognize people play the game. And Aaron, I would say, is our most methodical player in our group. He tends to look at things in a kind of a macro perspective. Like it feels like to me, watching you play, Aaron, you're planning out the majority of your turn before you've done pretty much anything. Does that seem fair? Like you usually have a strong idea. If you already counted out the victory points that you expect to earn each turn, like made a plan for which ones you're going to try and make a play for and everything.
It depends on the game. Like I think I'm a very fluid
Sure.
player. Like I'll look at the game state and be like, okay, if I
Obviously,
don't
you have
do
to make
X,
adjustments, right?
Y is going to happen. Can I live with Y? No. Then I guess I have to do X. But in general, yes, I like to think a turn ahead. Like, am I losing prio? Am I gaining prio? What can I do with that? Can I afford to like completely lose this side as long as I win the other one? So I will try to think about that on the turn leading up to power phase, and obviously make decisions. But I don't have everything scripted because Marvel's
Right.
too much of a
There's
random
obviously
game.
the chaos factor. You can't just go in. It's like, well, this is going to be A, B, C, D, E, F. Like, but you generally have a plan. With like, you're never going, I'm activating this model. What should he do? Like, you've already made the plan.
Yes.
And while I think everyone has some level of that, I feel like Aaron puts more advanced thought into activations than most of our players do. I put very little thought into individual activations. I've said before, I think I'm a very instinctual player. I just go with my gut on a lot of things. I feel like Jeremy's very similar to that. And the fact that we are both the priority preferring players in the group, I think that says a lot about personal ways you approach the game, reflecting in the like tactics versus strategy kind of situation. So I feel like because we're much more instinctual / improvisational or in the moment players, we prefer to have priority. That way we get to make the decision because we're constantly adapting what we think we need to be doing based off the exact situation and not making long-term plans as much. So like, for example, I will rarely go into a turn and plan out if I'm going to lose priority or not. That's usually a last two activations. Okay, who's going to have priority? Like that's usually when I'm thinking about that. And so I think that's why Jeremy and myself tend to be people that prefer priority. And I'm just thinking if that is a small sample size issue or if that's actually like a larger arching effect throughout the community. What do you guys think?
Well, I don't think you could, if you valued, I think your assessment is correct. I think if you valued a long-term plan and you didn't have redundancy, if you didn't have the ability to count on that because of your select, having the number of models to make sure you get all the things you wanted accomplished, I think you'd probably just hate this game, right? You wouldn't be playing anymore, right? We wouldn't be probably not listening. So the player, but now, did you think about it that way? Is that how you thought about it whenever you made your list? No, most people probably think, oh, I just like lots of models, or I don't like lots of models. And that's probably as much as they break it down. But the actual motivation for liking more or liking less is probably closer to your assessment. It's probably do you play more off the cuff, instinctually? You're thinking shorter term, or are you thinking longer term? If you're making long term plans, do you prefer creating a longer game plan? I think, and like you said, there's a limit to all this stuff, right? All plans work until you try to enact them, and then they start to fall apart. But it's definitely going to lead you to enjoy the game more often or less often.
Jeremy, is anything I say ringing true with you, or you think I'm full of shit? What do you think?
I think what you're saying is pretty much true. For me, like I like the idea of quality versus quantity. However, we're playing a game where spikes are really where the game is at. But like when I'm playing, I like priority because I can look at the situation, and I generally look at the game turn by turn, and I think if I'm doing the things that I want to get done, the points will add up later. I don't really care about it so much at the beginning, and that'll bite me in the ass from time to time. But mostly, if I have the same number of models and you have less activations, turn after turn, I'm going to end up winning it. And what's the best way to do that? That's, scooping your models up. However, I know that playing, more models or playing more efficiently with throws and, just looking at scoring, I feel like I've always needed to take that part of the game into account. And I've talked to Aaron about that as well when we were kind of playing, like, man, I wish I knew how many points I was supposed to score this turn. Like, I'm just staring into the abyss. Like, gosh, I wish there was a way to know that. Well, there is. I just don't spend time to do it. Like, if I'm winning and doing the things I want to do, it'll usually work out in the end. And I've probably lost several games because I just didn't count it correctly. And I just could have spent the time and energy to, like, look at it a little closer. But the fun in the game for me isn't that. It's more of, like I've always said from day one of this podcast, I like models that hit things real hard. I've always said that. And I mean, they haven't always had a Hulk and they haven't always had a Malekith, but now they do. And I'm like, oh, that's perfect. It's cool. That being said, those are tournament lists we're talking about, like lists that I intend on trying to win, and I enjoy playing. But this weekend when I was playing games, I played Brotherhood with a bunch of models, and it was fine. Like, it's great. I can still win and stuff. I know the concepts and all those things, and like Aaron was saying, like, that's how you build a community, and there's a lot of fun in that. It's just not the style I like to play.
Okay.
So
Where's Parker at? He hasn't said much
Hmm?
when it comes to his style or what you do. You haven't said much, Parker. You play She-Hulk, so I don't really appreciate or think your opinion's valid, but the lack of talking.
Oh, I mentioned that I play She-Hulk right now because I'm trying to purposely get away from playing 5 models every single time. Like, for the first, I think, 8 months I played this game, I never had priority on turn 2. I remember the very first time I got to pass ever. I think I had played like almost 20 games before I went, oh, I could pass. Like, that's how much I just immediately, as soon as I started playing this game, I went, more models. How many models can I get on the board?
To be fair, it was also due to the fact that you were mostly playing me and Jeremy, who were playing 3 model lists almost.
True.
Sometimes
I was
4.
learning. I was
Sometimes
learning
2.
against I was learning
That's
against
pretty rare.
players. But even when I was playing others, they were playing 4 model lists generally, and I was playing, even I was playing criminals with only 3s and 2s. Only. I was playing Cabal with Sin, only 3s and 2s. Like, those are the lists I was playing a lot. X-Men with Storm, only 3s and 2s. Maybe 1/4 I ever put in a list. I hated 5-point models. I did not play them ever. Except for Ghost Rider. He was the only one, and I played him in Guardians, so I could play only 2s and 3s with him. So, like, I purposely played that. And so the reason why I'm playing She-Hulk right now, and the reason why I've been so hard on it, is because there are 6-point models in this game, so let's see if I can play a 6-point model and still have at least 4 models on the board every game, maybe sometimes 5. And so that is the reason why I picked A-Force. That is the first reason I picked A-Force, is I can play a 6-point model, and then having more models around She-Hulk is actually better for She-Hulk, rather than playing a bunch of big models. Better for A-Force, not necessarily better for She-Hulk, but better for A-Force to play lots of models around She-Hulk. That's kind of the way the affiliation is designed. And so that's actually what gravitated to them in the first place. So if you ask me tomorrow, like, pick a new affiliation, I would go, which affiliation can give me the most models on the table at the same time? That'll be I will take those armies first, those affiliations first, and then everything else becomes secondary. The reason why I love Spider Foes, like the idea of Spider Foes, but I hate that they're relying on so many 4s. I hate it, because that means I'll only get to play like 4 models, and I'm like, ugh. I want to be able to play 5 models in every game at least.
Mysterio, Kraven, and Lizard beg to disagree.
The way I want to play Spider Foes is not
Okay.
Mysterio, Kraven, and Lizard.
Okay, fair enough.
Lizard. To be fair, Lizard's going to be there regardless.
Yeah. Lizard is the 3-pointer probably, but I think that like I wanted to play. I still want to play sometime, but it will take me letting go of 3-pointers and 2-pointers. I just only want to play 3-pointers and 2-pointers.
Yeah.
My favorite
Cool.
list in the game is still Bucket of Bullets, Shadowlands Daredevil. It has one 4-pointer in the entire 10-man roster, and then everything else is a model that had rapid fire or a way to get extra attacks. And that's to even go further, in my opinion, of redundancy, right? If I want to, if my models must move, they must move and then do 2 attacks also, because I want every single activation to be double what my opponent can do. So I want to have 5 models, and all of them are doubling the number of attacks they do. So while your list does 6 attacks a turn plus a throw or 2, I'm going to do 20 attacks every round. Every round, my list is going to do 20 attacks with rerolls. That was the point of the that is the point of the Shadowlands Daredevil Bucket of Bullets. Is I want to make sure that I get maximum amount of stuff out of my round, and that means you have to take lots of models. But when you do that math, you're like 6 things versus 20, 6 versus 20. Oh my gosh, you're right. That should do so much more. You should be able to table people, and so it did.
Mm-hmm. All right. So next up, Parker, do you have a comic corner for us?
Oh yeah, I have a real fun one. I often do not do comic corners for single issues because most of the time I'm talking about like little runs or stories that, at least take 4 or 5 issues to play. So maybe you can get a graphic novel, or if you have a subscription or you like individual issues, you'll have to buy a couple. But this is actually my first one that is just a single issue comic because I love it from beginning to end. It's actually it's called All New Wolverine Annual #1, and it was written by Tom Taylor. Pencilers are Marcio Takara. He also did the color for it. I really like Marcio Takara. If you never, he's not in a lot of issues, but he does do a bunch of stuff for Marvel. I just really like it. He's got a very simple style, very chill. And this one is actually a redux of a really common theme for a long time ago. Don't ask me when. I haven't actually seen the original. Wolverine and Spider-Man had a crossover, and the writers at the time thought, wouldn't it be funny if Wolverine and Spider-Man had a mind switch episode, right? So their minds switch, and Wolverine is Spider-Man, and Spider-Man is Wolverine for some reason, right? A psychic episode, something like this. And it was funny and it was fun. It was one of these first kind of like, we'll make something fun canon, and we'll make a crossover this, and not just bad, superheroes have to fight the same bad guy, meet each other first, fight each other, and then the bad guy, which is the common theme. Like, let's do something different. And so it got a lot of acclaim. Writers loved it. And so then in the Ultimates universe, they did it again. So in the Ultimates universe, Spider-Man, Peter Parker, and Wolverine have another body swap issue, which is really fun and funny. If you've never read it, it's in the Ultimates. I think it's an Ultimate Spider-Man issue, and they did it because Jean Grey was really, really mad at Wolverine, and as she's so furious at him for coming onto her, I think is what he tried, that he basically, while he's sleeping, she asks his brain to get swapped with the thing he would hate the most to be. And so his brain picks Peter Parker Spider-Man. And so he has to live as Peter Parker Spider-Man for a day while they figure this out. And it's a fun episode. But this one, All New Wolverine Annual #1, is the latest take on this. And it's actually Ghost Spider. Gwen Stacy is doing some multidimensional hijinks, and because that's one of the points, if you ever read any of her stuff, is that she travels between dimensions a lot, and she gets wrapped up in some mind swap, body swap technology by this other interdimensional interloper, and she gets her mind swap with X-23, and this is when X-23 was living with Honey Badger and the actual Badger together. And so it's a very cute, very fun story of what happens when X-23 wakes up as a Ghost Spider. Ghost Spider wakes up as X-23, and of course Gabby's also in the picture, and she thinks it's awesome. Like, she immediately is like, you're a spider person? And she goes, yeah. Of course she freaks out because claws pop out of her hands, and so as soon as the claws pop out of her hands, she screams, falls backwards out of a window, and lands in a car, and she thinks she's dead, but then like her spine just starts reforming, and she's freaking out because her spine is healing, and she doesn't know how this is going on. It's wonderful. It develops from there. Also, X-23, if you've read any comics with her attitude is, she's a trained assassin. She's sometimes more robot than person. She's very robotic, very, very oriented, objective oriented person, right? It's just the next objective, the next goal. And so her trying to be a spider person was anathema too. It's fun. Unlike the other ones where Wolverine and Logan and Peter Parker are often just antagonistic. They're so mad about being transferred to each other's body, and it's a very antagonistic thing. This one is actually more cooperative and fun. It's one of my favorite single one-off issues ever because I love Gwen Stacy the character, I love X-23 the character, I love Gabby the character, the Honey Badger, the actual Badger is in there too, and I'm mad that
Jonathan.
Jonathan's in it too, and he makes a cameo and he's fun. So if you don't know anything about X-23, Ghost Spider, or Honey Badger, but they're characters in Marvel Protocol, you're like, I want to know more about them. This one issue does a pretty good job of giving you a fun rundown of all three. And of course, they do resolve it by the end of the issue. So it's a single adventure, but it's fun. All new Wolverine annual #1.
Is Jonathan your favorite Marvel pet?
No, Lockjaw is my favorite Marvel pet.
Okay. Does he classify as a pet?
Yeah. There's a Marvel Pets, like a Pet Avengers. And it's all the animals that are Marvel characters. So it's Throg, the Thor who is a frog.
Who's Throg?
Throg is considered to be the strongest Thor by size.
Oh, that's the frog Thor.
Yeah,
by size. Frog.
Right. So if you were
it's
to
like tensile strength.
right. So if you were to do it by mass, Throg is insanely powerful because he can take on cosmic threats, but he weighs like 4 grams. So
I didn't realize that was his name. You said Throg, and I was like, "Who's Throg?"
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Throg. I'm not.
Frog
this is
Thor,
going to make me really mad because it's not Thorg, right? I think it's Throg. Let me. I just read an amazing. I was reading a bunch of Thor issues the other day because I love Thor. Yeah, Throg is his name. So Throg. I don't know actually how.
Parker, do you know about Throg?
Throg
for MCP?
No. What?
Adepticon had alt arts, and there's a I can't remember what card it is. I want to say it's Odin's Blessing, but it's Throg holding his hammer up and getting hit by lightning.
Oh my god!
Yeah, I have the card with me.
Oh, I want one so bad.
It's in the car. Yeah.
Oh man, that's so amazing. Yeah, I love Throg, and
okay.
He
Alligator
actually.
Loki.
What's that? What'd you say?
Alligator Loki is his enemy.
Oh my gosh, that's so awesome. So yeah, Throg is it's the Marvel Avengers are Throg, Lockheed, which is Shadowcat's dragon, the cat, Nick Fury's cat, the alien cat.
Oh, okay. The Flurgan.
Yeah. The Basset Hound, the Ghost Basset Hound. Yeah, Ghost. I can't remember his name.
Bats.
Yeah, Bats. And the 2 crows, Hugin and Mugen. Thor's crows.
And so your favorite is Lockjaw?
My favorite is Lockjaw. Although, not gonna lie, after reading some of the stuff with all of them in it, I think Throg might be my favorite. He's close second, man. I had no idea what they had done, like how they had taken because I read the original Thor comic that he got transformed into a frog by Loki, right? It's a famous trick, but the Throg is an alternate dimension one who lives in Earth 616 now, and he's one of the defenders of the Florida Everglades, along with Man-Thing. He and Man-Thing defend.
Florida Man.
What's that?
Florida Man, Frog, Thor.
Yeah. So the Man-Thing and Throg defend the Florida Everglades because one of the nexus of realities, there's many in the universe, but one of the nexus of all realities is in the Florida Everglades. It's what it's what the conquistadors thought the Fountain of Youth was. It's not a Fountain of Youth. It's a nexus point. And so there's many of them throughout the universe. It's one of them. And Throg defends it with the Man-Thing.
So I don't know anything about any of those animals because I don't read the comics. But my favorite is quickly becoming Jeffrey the shark dog.
Jeffrey is fun. Of course Jeffrey's in Gwenpool, which I need to read more, but
you have a book report due. Tell me about Jeffrey next week.
Okay, I will do that. Oh, by the way, can I tell you what Throg's hammer's name is?
Okay.
It's exactly what you think it is. Frog Mjolnir.
Oh. I thought it was gonna be like a ribbit joke. Okay.
Yeah. Nope, it's just Frog Mjolnir. But yes, he might be like the single strongest organism in the Marvel universe by mass. He's one of them.
Mhm.
I think it's a fun character.
Dislike.
Oh, you just like that?
I dislike Frog Thor.
Okay.
Not strongly. I'm just like, eh.
Well, I'll tell you, the reason why I like him is that he's not Howard the Duck. He's not just the way the Thor comics treats him is he's not.
He's not a joke.
Yeah, he's not a joke. He's actually 100% legit. Like everybody respects him because he actually gives a shit and he actually like works really hard. He puts his life on the line. Like he's
It's just comedic because he's a frog.
right.
But like, other than that, he's serious.
Yes.
The new all webbed up card that they gave away at Adepticon has Silk on it.
Ooh.
I had to ask somebody who Silk was. I
Oh,
assumed it
man.
was like just an alternate universe Gwen.
No, she's not. Oh, I'm really excited to put Silk in this game. She's cool.
They also had Scarlet Spider, but I ever think that was everyone knew that one.
Yeah. Scarlet Spider is one of my favorites of all time, but Silk is super cool.
I want to give a quick shout out to the Muse guys.
Oh, yeah?
Perrin and I were up in Iowa for a bubble tournament, so I messaged them and I was like, "Hey, you guys want to play on a Sunday?" And they're like, "Great, yeah, sure." So I headed over on Saturday. I played with them Saturday night and then all day Sunday from 10 in the morning till 8 at night. So Perrin and I got
Nice.
a bunch of games with a lot of really great people. So thank you, Muse and Aaron England.
And they're not even dead with Ebola yet.
I was going to say, did they get sick?
They were under the weather. Let's put it that way.
Mm-hmm. Jeremy just looks at his phone in perfect health. Like, what?
Listen,
What do I do?
I'm not going to continuously take responsibility for the world's problems, okay? Fuck that. People made choices.
Aaron, did you keep the rivalry strong?
I was nice. Does that count? I thought I was nice.
You didn't give them a cup of poison.
That's good.
Did you smoke them, I think is the question.
Some games, yes. Some games were closer.
Mm. You didn't say you lost any yet, though.
I didn't say that. There might have,
Rivalry's alive and well.
I think- there was at least a loss, but it was one of those
Mhm.
games where like I'm at 14 or 15, like I could just activate first and run away. But I'm like, that's no fun. Let's see what happens if we just
Yeah.
fight some more. Turns out Logan kills your entire fucking team. So
Yeah.
so I definitely
I had a
pushed
sub-
the not super competitive buttons a couple times. I mean, I tried to win, but
Yeah.
at
No,
some
that's
point,
fine.
once you're done learning, you're like, I could run away, I learned nothing, or I could go into Logan.
Right.
See how that works? Yeah, it doesn't.
I had a similar conversation yesterday at the shop. I was talking with Jim, one of our 40K players, and I'm watching him play a person who's playing like his 5th game of the new edition. But he's like taking it in stride and he's getting wiped out. Like he's playing Eldar into guard. And I don't know if the guard player, who is Jim, has lost anything really at this point, other than just like random couple squads of guardsmen. He's just putting it to him. And the Eldar player has like, I don't know, 5 models left. He's like 4 Wraith Guard and a Warlock or something. And so the Warlocks charge in to one squad of guardsmen. And he's like, all right, well, I'm going to spend this command point to Overwatch. And then like I'm going to spend this 2 more command points to like give these buffs for like combat and stuff. I'm just like, bro, what are you doing? And he's like, what do you mean? I was like, dude, he's got like 5 models left. Like, it's fucking over. Like, just let him kill some guardsmen before you table him. He's like, nah, bro. It's like, okay. Like, that's, I guess, the difference. Is I don't need to get all of the like self-respect out of my opponent. Like I want to win the game. But it's like I make decisions until the game is won, and I'm like, all right, now this doesn't matter anymore. And so it was just interesting to see that. Like he's like, we don't turn it off. I'm like, okay, all right, whatever. And people accuse me of like not turning it off. It's like I just play the game.
I'm sorry, is the game still being played?
Eyes roll back, teeth start gnashing. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Wake up. What happened happened.
Yeah. Anyway. Cool. Well, I think it's going to wrap it up for us today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. This has been Brandon.
And Parker.
And just Jeremy.
And Aaron.
And you've just listened to Team Jeffrey.
So what are we going to call this thing?
I got it. Okay. Incredible, new, fantastic, astonishing, mighty, original, uncanny, sensational podcast.
I'm just going to put down infamous.
And we are back.
Oh my god, it's so good to be back.
Brought to you by our brand new studio, sponsored by Brandon's mortgage payment. No, I'm just kidding. I am actually recording from somewhere new, though.
What, did your mom let you move back in?
Yep. I'm in the basement once again. No. I wish I had a mom.
Damn it! Ice cold.
You can go search for them on mylf.com.
Oh, yeah?
Anyone you want.
Pick any number.
Aaron, you should know better. I obviously know what that site is for. Anyway.
Finding moms?
Yeah.
See?
I don't know what else it would be for.
You said you had a problem. I have a solution. Stop giving me shit.
All right. I don't know if I want to talk about this on the cast or in the pre-ramble. Let's talk about it. So, Jeremy, you were just stating how you were annoyed that the store was full for you and you couldn't play games last week because we had a big tournament.
Yes.
Would you be pleased to know that that's going to happen again this weekend?
Yes, because I'm selfish and it's all about fucking me.
Nice.
If it's my game, I give a fuck about anyone else.
I don't know if you know. I assume I posted it in the podcast channel at some point and you probably read it. But we had to raise our cap on the number of teams for the team tournament twice.
Really?
Yes, we have 16 teams registered
Holy shit.
for the team tournament.
I don't think you understand the meaning of the word cap.
Well, I said originally it was soft capped because I know we have enough supplies for 12 teams. And then we hit 12 and I was like, all right, let me make sure we can go to 14. I did that and then it went up and then I'm like, all right, we need to borrow Aaron's stuff now. And we went to 16.
I have a lot of terrain as well, if you want to use that. I put all my stuff together.
So I did a count. The store has 16 tables worth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So do you not want or need terrain? You just want mats? Or do you want the appropriate forest-themed terrain?
We should have no problem with mats, assuming Nigel doesn't forget to bring the new mats down with him. Now, if he does forget, the only bad news would be that we wouldn't have fully pre-marked mats. We would have to use some non-pre-marks, because we have 16 mats in store. Or not 16 mats, but we have the number we needed.
Okay, 24.
Yes, 24. Yeah, we have 15 of the pre-marks.
Yeah, 24.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what did you want me to bring again?
We'll confirm it tomorrow, but basically it's like 2 tables of terrain.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm going to pull everything out, make sure everything's ready.
Sounds like a pretty big tournament.
Mm-hmm. I think it's going to be a good time.
What's going to be the casual competitive split, do you think?
I think it's going to be majority casuals, because this is kind of the casual one. I think the most competitive teams are going to be Omaha and Des Moines, because they're driving a noticeable distance to come and play, and so only the most competitive players are generally coming.
Yep.
Just because they're the most active players. I don't even know if most competitive is the word.
Mm-hmm.
I would imagine that Omaha's teams are going to be at the top, because they're probably, their most, experienced players. All of our experienced players intentionally tried to split ourselves up to create as many teams as possible.
Mm-hmm.
But I was surprised at how many teams of people that I did not expect to come are coming. So, we've got a team coming from Joplin. We've got multiple teams from Kansas City that I've never even played with. So,
really?
That's very exciting. Yeah. I think one of the groups is, I think his name was Quentin, the guy that was up there last week.
Mm-hmm.
So I think one of, some of those people, some of his friends from, Mind Games and Magic are coming.
Cool.
But yeah, we have a lot of people that signed up. I'm very excited.
So with that many, what is that? 4 or 5 rounds? What is that?
It'll be 4 rounds exactly. Exactly 4 rounds. Final team.
And explain
I'm
again.
having go ahead.
I was like, so you kind of mentioned how the pairings work. Explain how that's not just random.
How?
3v3.
So I can read it for you, but basically it's each team has 3 players.
Yep.
They're noted as players A, B, and C.
Mm-hmm.
When the teams get to their 3 tables, the 2 team captains will roll priority, normal priority roll. The winner of priority will take one of his 3 teammates secretly and place them on one of the 3 tables. The other team, Team 2, will also choose one of their 3 players and place them on one of the 2 remaining tables. After the first 2 players have been placed on different tables, you reveal those 2 players, and then the teams will place one of their team members to fight the revealed player secretly.
That's what I didn't get. Okay.
Yeah. And so basically, let's say we had a team of myself, Aaron, and Jeremy, and I was team captain. I put Jeremy down on table 1, and we're playing Mysterious Team Unknown. They put their player A down on table 2. We then could go look at our list and go, between myself and Aaron, we get to choose who's going to fight their player A. And then we put our person down on that table. They put a person down on on Jeremy, and then the remaining 2 unselected players play on table 3 in that example.
Gotcha.
So that third table is also kind of a mystery because you don't know who's going to send who they're going to send against who.
They're the scraps.
And so at first it seems really hard to predict, but effectively if you want to protect one of your players, you will not place them down. You'll wait for the other person to put down their team. Because let's say, Jeremy, you have one bad matchup against their team, but it's like an auto loss.
Mm-hmm.
And so we would not place you first, see what they put down, and know that we could either put you into that or another one of their people at a coin flip, basically.
Mm-hmm. That makes a lot more sense.
So
I just
if you're only trying to dodge one person, it's really easy to dodge one person. But if you're trying to design a specific matchup, that's harder unless your opponent gives it to you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see how that would work, and I actually like that dynamic a lot with the way my team is set up.
So WTC will be the same. It will be very similar, but it's just since there's 5 tables, there's a lot more slow reveal of information, kind of like Texas Hold'em.
Mm-hmm. No, that's cool. I like that. I thought it was going to be like that, but when I read it, I did not read that. But I was at work and trying to do several things. So, cool. Who is on your team, Brandon?
Alex and other Brandon.
Gotcha. I played Brandon this weekend.
Parker, have you been able to get a hold of Spencer?
Yep. Both of my team members, I have their stuff. I'm just waiting on one of them to give me his final list.
Well, what I was trying to explain to you is that I didn't need you to upload the squads. I just needed you to add the person to your team.
Well, it gives you the squad.
The list.
The roster.
You don't have to enter it though.
Oh, you don't?
No, you can just add him and do it later.
Okay, well,
that's what I was trying to get you to do. Yeah.
Okay, well, I have his information. I just didn't have his list. I thought you had to do it at the same time because it was in the same window.
Just plug it in there.
Okay.
Edit later.
Yeah.
It's been kind of like an ongoing thing. I have to keep pulling up what they've got. And I'm like, okay, how about this card? And I'm like, wait a second. So I have to pull their stuff up. And then they re-edit my list. And yeah.
I made a Discord server for our team.
Group. Yeah.
And so we've been doing everything on channels there. It's been really easy and nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did a similar thing for my team.
My team doesn't know what they're playing yet.
Yeah, I know.
You're the wild card.
Very
wild card.
It'll be wide criminals, wide shield, and then what else? Wide X-Men.
Oh, baby, keep talking like that.
I know. Oh my god, I can only get so hard. Did you check that show? Did you check that show out, Parker? I told you about.
No, I did not.
okay.
I have not finished my other 2 shows yet. Like I said, it after My Hero is done, then I'm gonna start with that. I'm gonna try it.
Did you start watching season 6?
Yeah, I'm only like 4 episodes left on season 6. I think I
Was
haven't double
season
checked.
6 as good as I said it was?
Oh, it's very, very good. I think I'm not giving away any spoilers when I say this, but I'm on Vigilante Deku phase. That's the phase I'm on now. So I'm excited. It's been very good. It's now kind of an adult show. Everybody's for everybody and with everybody. Everybody knows what everything's going on.
Yeah.
You and I have many conversations about one of our least favorite things in fiction is when writers purposely give like, oh, we gotta keep this a secret, and that's part of the conflict is that there is a secret, and we both appreciate when there are no more secrets. Now it's just characters versus characters or characters versus environment. There's none of this trauma related to the secret.
Anyone who's ever watched a CW show knows what we're talking about, because it's the moment when a character in the show learns a secret that somebody else should know because they're directly involved with the situation.
Right.
Then decides they know better than that person and decides to keep the very important, relevant information a secret for the other person's own good. Then, later in the season/episode, the person finds out anyway and now hates you for it.
Yeah.
And then they supposedly learn their lesson and say, I'll never do it again. And then in the next episode, they learn yet another crazy secret about said person or item and decide, well, I know last time it bit me in the ass immediately, but this time I know better. I'm going to keep it a secret anyway. And it's just in this never-ending fucking loop of fucking secret keeping. And it's just like, this isn't drama. This is idiocy.
Yeah, it's a terrible trope. It's just as bad as any horror movie where you're like, why are you going into the room full of the chainsaws?
Yeah.
Like, why are
Stop
you
running up the stairs to escape the killer.
Right. So it's the same kind of thing. So this is
I think
at
most
this
people
point
don't realize
in
if you
my
run at full speed, you can just run straight out of a window. Like, if you're about to get stabbed to death, that's a better option.
Yeah. So at this point in My Hero, everybody knows everything. There's no longer a drama about that. And so now it's just good. You're just like, okay, now they're in a race to not lose because all the bad guys have the advantage. It's super cool. I'm excited.
Did Bakugo get the character development you were hoping for?
Yes. Yeah, Bakugo is a much better character now. I'm much happier. He's not just Rage Machine. I like when he's not just Rage Machine. He was just a personification of teenage angst. Like that's what the character. But I like where he's at now. I'm going to watch this show of yours after that, Jeremy. Although while I was doing dishes just now, I watched the season 7 finale of Always Sunny, the high school reunion.
Oh my god.
The two-parter. It is pretty good.
There's not many two-parter Always Sunny episodes, but they're all really good.
Mm-hmm.
I love when they do the concert at the end.
And he just keeps moaning. It's the dance off. Plan B. It's called Plan B.
Plan B. So good.
Yeah, I liked it's really strong. I really like how I'm watching Always Sunny now, which is like once or twice a week I'll just sit down and watch 3 episodes, and it's really nice.
Aaron, I finished Persons of Interest.
Wow. Okay.
That's how much video editing I've been doing. It's on the background when I'm video editing, and other than that, I don't watch very much.
Yeah. So what's your final verdict?
What kind of rating scale would you like? Would you like a number rating, a letter grade? What would you like? Would you like a comparison show that I would put it up against?
No, I just want to know if you would recommend other people to watch it. That's it. Yes or no?
Probably not.
Okay.
I do think the ending of the show was strong. They definitely went out in a good way. The later seasons were 100% better than the earlier seasons.
Yep.
If you could watch Persons of Interest without the crime drama thing of the week crap that takes up 80% of the episode, I would definitely recommend it. But it's kind of like Supernatural for that same reason. The problem is that like the meat of every episode is generally so low that it's really not worth the effort. However, like the end caps of the episode where the actual plot moves along is good, and that's definitely worth watching. I would compare it to Supernatural or Blue Bloods. I think for some reason, I mean, I know why. It's obviously just due to like ease of writing. That the monster of the week crap is so much of the TV shows because it's so easy to write formulaic.
But it's
filler.
a requirement from the studio because that's how you keep people interested. Because as soon as they miss
Right.
some of the serial, that they're like, well, I can't, right? When it was being broadcast on TV and not streamed.
Well,
Like-
I'm pretty sure, like, you know, Game of Thrones did fine without the serial crap. Like, the good shows do fine. But
Sure.
when you're releasing lower budget stuff, then yeah, when you don't have the best actors, you don't have the best writers, that's how you get people hooked is repetitiveness. I get it.
Yep.
Especially when you're doing, like, you know, 20 episode seasons.
I agree with
People
you.
just
I would just
Don't
watch
stay
it.
engaged.
Yeah.
I don't regret watching it.
Okay.
It was fine. I am glad it ended the way it did without spoilers because it actually has some spoiler stuff, I think.
Yep.
Root ended up not being the worst character ever because they stopped leaning on the she's an unstoppable killing machine that weighs 90 pounds. And I was just like, okay, this is dumb. Shaw is my favorite human character in the show because she is actually a decent, like, she plays a sociopath that has no emotions, and she shows so much more emotion in the show than the lead actor, which is painful at times.
Yep.
Like, oh my god, the deadpan deliveries of some of his lines are just like, oh my god, dude, like, come on, man, I could do better than this.
Yep.
I know I don't know, but I know that at multiple points in the show, they must have said, I go, can we just kill John off and get somebody else? And they were like, I don't know, man, he's kind of under contract. Like, the other actors like him. Like, that conversation got had. He is terrible.
It's almost,
Or,
it's
I
almost
mean-
comic how he performs. But yeah, I agree.
It's so bad. I thought for sure he'd get better, and he did not. Like, through the entire show. Oh, there was one scene where he showed emotion. And it was an important scene. And so, but I think they just did the go by and spray the shit in your eyes so you, like, tear up. And then he just talked a little bit deeper instead of a little less raspy. And I was like, oh, wow, that actually, like, had a little bit of emotion in it. And then there was a scene with a dog in that episode, and I was like, wow, this dog is just killing it. Where are you at on watching stuff, Aaron?
I'm about halfway through Daredevil season 3.
Okay.
So I only have Daredevil, Punisher, and Jessica Jones to go. Then I'm done with the Defender series.
Okay. I think the third season of Jessica Jones is better than the second. Punisher season 2 was good.
I'm looking forward to that.
And Daredevil season 3 was good. So yeah.
I'm not allowed to watch TV in my house anymore. My kids just keep watching YouTube videos. They just they figured out how to do it on the PlayStation.
Yep.
So now we just have to watch Minecraft like journeys of different things happening or Mr. Beast videos nonstop. So that's all I'm allowed to watch anymore.
Fucking kill me.
Mm-hmm.
What are you allowed to watch?
My boys have figured out how to watch YouTube on the PlayStation.
Oh, God. Yeah.
So yeah, now it's like lifelike cakes, things that look like things.
Yeah.
Videos of people taking journeys on Minecraft or doing things like so and so has a village of knights and those knights are and they just talk through the whole thing or whatever. They have those, and then they watch Mr. Beast videos doing dumb shit. So yeah. And then when they're gone, which is a small part of the time, like I say, I I was telling Parker about a show called Unstable, which is just Rob Lowe playing the character that he plays in Parks and Rec, except he's got a different job, but it's basically him, and it's his real life son. So they have the same witty like back and forth, and it's just one-liner after one-liner. It's really funny.
Nice. Have you tried telling the kids they're on the wait list for YouTube? I feel like that's a good way out. It's like, yeah, like YouTube sold out this month, so we're on the wait list.
Yeah. Usually they get up before I do, so they've already got it set. It's hard
You just
to
gotta lock it out.
Yeah. Well.
So I've been starting the slow pile of unpacking, and so basically what I do is I grab a tote because I basically moved in these big plastic storage bins, and so I grab a tote, I put it behind my chair while I'm editing videos, And when I get to the render video stage, which takes 4 times as long as all the actual stuff you do when you edit videos, I just turn my chair around and I just basically have keep and trash pile. And I'm just like sorting through the bin of like, I don't actually need this. I've just had it for 20 years. And so I found my college ID.
Oh,
and so I was wondering if you guys wanted to see my college ID.
Oh, please.
This is the first time in my life I've looked at a picture of myself and go, I literally don't think that's me. like that does not look like me as a human.
Let's do
you
it.
guys want to see it?
Let's do it.
All right, Here we go. All right, let's see if it'll...
Wow.
All right, hold on, let me turn off
that's
the...
you.
You have to turn off the thing.
It is not me. How fucking dare you? All right.
Oh, it's Marshall Mathers.
Yeah, I know, right? Like,
That's before Mom
big-ass
Spaghetti.
fucking ears. Yeah,
That's funny.
big ass fucking ears.
Marshall Mathers.
That's rap battles right there, buddy.
Mhm.
Wow, look
I
at
look
that.
like I'm
youth.
about to fucking rob a convenience store.
For sure. You definitely were from Detroit. That's all I know.
But like, if I shaved my head now, like if I completely shaved, like I would not look like that now. It's crazy.
He's such an innocent young man.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool. Parents playing about 4 games a day and coming down to talk to me and play ping pong in between each one.
Jesus
Oh, you guys
Christ.
play ping pong? Hell yeah, I like ping pong.
It's on the smallest ping pong table you've ever seen.
Oh, never mind then.
That's the one
it's-
my boys play on one like that at my mom's house, and every time I go over there, they're like, all right, we got better. And then I'll play them and dominate them. And then my mom will go, oh yeah, well, I'm real good. And then dominate her. I'm like, try again next week.
So when I worked for the FAA at the En route center, they had a ping pong table in the break room, and basically like you spend half your workday on break, and you couldn't use cell phones in the area, and so you just had 4 hours a day where you could either sit there and watch Sports Center or play ping pong. And so you have
Nice.
people that have worked at that building for 40 years, and they play ping pong 4 hours a day. Those people were nightmares. Like you'd be like, I'd like to play ping pong. I'm pretty good at ping pong. And they're like, every serve is like the just fucking impossible turn on it. And then if you actually manage to return it, they can dip it, hit the net, roll it over the top on
Yep.
the corner, and then hit the corner of the table and bounce it off the corner of the table. I'm just like, what are we doing? Like
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Like I have seen Olympic ping pong, and this is more frightening.
Oh, yeah.
My uncle was offshore oil rig
Mhm.
mechanic for like 30 some years.
So he's got like 3-month shifts where he's out.
It's 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off. And all of the only pastime they had there before were computers now and stuff. But the only time they had was their pool table. They had a pool table. And so his only luxury item that he ever owned was his own pool table in his house. And because he wanted to play pool even when he wasn't out on the rig. And so he had a stroke, and that's actually what kept him off the rig, because he eventually had a stroke, and he got paralyzed. And so he had to very slowly walk with the cane, and when he played pool, he had to physically manipulate one of his hands. Like he had to take one hand and manipulate the other to put it on the table and put the stick in the hand. And so you'd think that'd be like a real hindrance, right? Not being able to control that. And so I remember the first time I was very young. I was very young, like what? And I was like, I don't know how to play pool, and he's like, I'll show you. And so he puts his hand down, and I watch him like manipulate it. I'm like, what is he doing? And he just breaks like 4 in. And he walks around he's playing at a snail's pace, but every time he hits, it's at least 1 in with these crazy angles, and he looks like a savant, right? He looks incredible. This frail man, half paralyzed, just crushing a whole pool table by himself, never missing. It was something else. He taught me how to play pool. That's how I know how to play pool. It was at all.
So just to back up a second, did you say your son's playing 4 games a day, Aaron?
Yeah.
Did you make him quit school so he can be a better player?
Did I make him what?
Did you make him quit school so he can be a better Marvel player? Because
No,
I'm
but
proud of you.
He gets a game in at 3:00 when he gets back from school, and then he stops gaming around 2 a.m. And it's all Marvel, nothing but Marvel all the time.
All right, you're going to need to put the on-off switch on that Wi-Fi again.
Not till after.
Not till after.
WTC.
You've created a monster.
I mean, from a father's perspective, it's great. Like, it's a cool bonding
Mhm.
experience. He plays,
Yeah.
we come down, we talk about it. You're never gonna guess what he switched to. He's no longer playing Thanos X-Men.
Oh no.
Wait, he took his crutch and he threw it away?
He did. You're not gonna like what he switched to either.
Is it Thanos Guardians?
It is not.
So
He
wait,
came,
hold on.
interestingly
Don't-
enough.
Wait,
Go ahead.
Thanos Avengers.
He came to the same conclusion Mike DeLuca did.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Shield?
Give up and stop playing?
Yeah.
No,
Shield.
Shield.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Shield makes your opponent ask too many questions too. It's a burnout. Like I agree with everything that's been said about that. It's very, very good. It's death of 1,000 cuts, and your opponent has to work just as hard as you do, or harder, on their own turn, which is a fucking nightmare.
I always heard that Shield really struggled against like X-Men and mutants though.
Yes, but it doesn't struggle into Thanos and Mal. So pick your poison. If you're tired of
How
getting
does it
fucked,
not struggle into Thanos?
just shoots everyone.
Okay, you just kill everyone else.
No, you kill Thanos. Just you
Well, the
Helios
reason
him off the.
everyone always
He's
the reason
Helios turn
everyone
2.
always said that you don't get to kill X-Men is because they all have cover.
Yeah,
So how does Reality Stone plus DR not equal better than cover?
because 20 dice don't give a fuck.
So how do you kill him though?
Well, who gives a shit after you flip them?
So you're just saying I'm going to injure him and then ignore him.
I haven't played the matchup, but theoretically, I believe so. His new tech is Punisher in Shield. It's actually like he's scoring 3 VPs a game with it. It's pretty sick.
When we played against it, like that was going crazy on us. I mean, we played in the team tournament. Was it in the team tournament? The guy had that, or was that one of my other games?
It wasn't Shield, but it was just Punisher.
No, it was just Punisher. Yeah, I played that and
Yeah.
got like 3 points. We're like, whoa, hold on.
Spencer played it in Hellfire, or no,
Yeah,
it was before
it's legit.
Hellfire. Yeah, it's not bad.
We talked about it on the way back from Arkansas, and I looked it up. You don't get the victory point if you kill the grunt parent and the grunt's out. They get removed from play, not KO'd.
Well, I know my new order of operations.
Yeah. You just gotta kill the grunt first, right? It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
So anyway, he's having a lot of fun with Punisher Shield.
Well, why are you getting 3 with Punisher Shield?
Like
You
he
just
just
soften.
Yeah.
You soften everybody up, then play Blood Red and Personal, and you just kill 3 people.
Shield pumps up
Kill
the
3
damage.
people with Blood Red and Personal?
No, you KO 3 people on like turn 4. That's the turn you play the card. You get 1 extra victory point every time you KO someone.
Oh, but it's for your whole team, not just Punisher, right?
Correct. He plays the card.
Yes.
The whole team benefits.
Right.
And heaven help you if you brought grunts.
But the grunts don't count if you kill the commanding character. That's just
Correct.
Right. If you kill the parent, they just get removed from play. They don't get KO'd.
So I mean, I'm not saying it's the best list in the world. I'm just saying he is right now doing well and having a blast playing it. So good on him.
That's important. We'll talk about this more later, obviously, but I'm just curious what all resources get used in the Shield list.
Define
Like, is there-
resources.
Noteworthy mercenaries that get used. Like obviously, Punisher's not a big deal, but
No, he's not playing like Mal Shield. He's just playing really straight up Shield. Dynamo obviously is
right.
key to some of that.
Well, that's out because I'm playing Winter Guard.
You're
Wait,
playing
I thought
what?
I was playing
Okay.
Winter Guard. Wait, I'm
we're
just
both
playing Urza
Winter
Major.
Guard.
Anybody else
No,
need
we're
Ur-
both playing Winter Guard, but I get Crimson Dynamo and you get Ursa Major.
Okay, cool.
And then we each get 1 rogue agent. That way we can get affiliated.
I'm just glad now that you fuckers took Sentinels because
Wait,
my
I
list.
didn't tell
Oh
you.
wait, no, Aaron's playing Sentinels.
I'm also playing Sentinels. Wait, just one.
I'm playing. Yeah, just one though. Just 1 Mark IV.
Just one Mark IV Sentinel.
1 Mark IV and a rogue agent and like Thanos. That's my list.
One rogue agent. Get him. I think that's Black Order. Actually.
It's also Sentinels.
Oh my god.
Okay. I'm gonna grab another beer, then I think we can get started.
Is WTC like the team rules, so you can only have something?
characters are unique. Cards are unlimited.
Okay.
In WTC, yeah, it's just characters. Okay. Jeremy. Oh, Jeremy's gone. That's funny.
Oh yeah, we should do a WTC announcement
Yes, it's on the list.
on the list.
I didn't want to do it last week because we didn't have our 5th.
Yeah.
And we, just barely had confirmation that we had a slot.
Yep. I love your story about the other people.
Oh, yeah.
Just Venmoing each other at the convention. Like, oh, shit. Like, did you guys read the fucking announcement? Oh, my God.
It's like, so-and-so walks up to me. It's like, so you guys are going to WTC 2? I'm like, well, we're going. And they're like, oh, well, like, we're going too. I was like, oh, that's cool, because I thought there was only 3 slots. He's like, oh, no, there's unlimited slots. I'm like, I don't think there's unlimited slots. He's like, yeah, I was told there was unlimited slots. Like, who told you? It was like, this other person on Discord. I'm like, I didn't know they were affiliated with WTC. He's like, oh, they're not. Like, you might want to go talk to Gil. He's right over there.
Yeah.
Jeremy, I have a fan feedback to relay to you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you have a fan. I don't know if you knew this.
Oh.
Your fan wanted to tell you,
Oh.
Jesus fucking Christ, don't cough directly into your microphone. They said that multiple times in person to me.
That wasn't me. If
It's
you
like
remember
you're actively
correctly,
trying to get people sick through the wires.
Yeah.
yeah. If you remember correctly, it was that or feedback from the microphone, and we chose coughing, and then I chose...
Oh, don't worry. I explained this to them. I was the ambassador on your behalf.
Mm.
And their reply was, stop coughing directly into your microphone. So, there you go.
Look,
To anyone that had to listen to that, I apologize. I tried to edit out some of them, but I was in a big hurry to get it posted. I didn't have 3 hours to edit out Jeremy coughs.
Brandon, I don't give you a lot of positive reinforcement, but you do a really good job.
Do I?
You do. Like,
Okay.
there's a lot of podcasts I listen to that have volume control issues and some other things. And you spend the time to edit the podcast to make it as kind of as good as it can be. I appreciate that. Thank you.
You're welcome. Did you listen to last week's episode?
Was I on the cast?
Yes.
Then I did not listen to it.
You should listen to the ending of last week's episode.
oh shit, what did you do? I listened to some of it. Just
I don't know if you recall, but there might have been some timing issues from last week.
Yeah, I remember.
Oh no. Did you get all fucked up?
When? No, I fixed it.
Oh, you did?
But also, I copied that whole section and plugged it in at the end. Because Aaron was like, I want people to know that you fucked me. I just want people to know that. I did not cough all fucking day. As soon as we start recording, I gotta cough constantly.
Dude, not everyone can keep blaming me. Like, eventually it's got to end. Like,
I don't know why Jeremy keeps coughing. That's what I meant to say.
Jesus Christ.
What did you hear?
Mm.
All right,
It's
here we
not
go.
Jeremy's fault he has contagious allergies.
Yeah. I know we covered this last week, but anyone who didn't listen to last week's episode, Jeremy said, as we got in the car, he coughs heavily and we go, are you sick? And he goes, no, I have allergies. 10 minutes later, after continuous coughing, are you sure you're not sick? No, I have asthma and allergies. It's a whole
I
thing.
might be sick. I might.
3 hours later, we watch him visually take Mucinex, and we're like, are you sure you're not sick? He's like, it's going to be fine.
There's a reason it's called a plandemic, okay?
Newsflash, we weren't fine.
No one was fine.
Flash forward. Not fine.
Shit, see, how did Parker not get sick, but everybody else did?
You're right.
Weird. It's almost
Wait,
like he didn't spend 18 and a half hours in a
Wait.
car with you over 2 days.
Damn it. Look, this
We should just driven with the windows down. I said this in advance.
Oh my god.
Not gonna lie.
It's
It
so
was
cold.
not gonna lie. It was like 9:05 last Thursday night for game night. This is the night after I heard you guys hacking into your microphones for 2.5 hours, and I went, I could go over there to hang out with those guys, or I could go hang out in like an ICU. I think I'm going to just stay home.
Well, either way, you're going to end up at the ICU, so you might as well.
That's
Right.
true.
So yeah, hopefully Aaron will live to the end of this episode. Then we'll have to find a replacement.
I'm easily replaceable.
I wish people could see at home. I've never seen Aaron wear a hat ever, and he's wearing a beanie because he's cold.
I took 2 showers today, like just laid in the hot water.
Just warm showers. Yeah,
Yeah, because I'm, I feel like I'm cold, but I'm burning up inside.
yeah.
One of those experiences. Anyway.
All right, here we go.
Shark.
Shark. All right. So we need to talk to. Obviously, we'd have. So you forced Perrin to watch Dodgeball, correct?
Yes.
Have we gotten confirmation that Aaron England has seen Dodgeball?
No.
Okay.
Well,
I'm not completely writing off Globo Gym Purple Cobras as the WTC team.
You shouldn't.
I'm legitimately pondering it. The big downside would be I would have to buy yet another jersey instead of just wearing the infamous jersey I already have.
all right, let's be good.
I think it's funny. However, I think that
I'm worried that the
people will be
Europeans
like-
would not have seen Dodgeball.
yeah, that, and it might be cool if the team name is on Longshanks while we're playing and people know what the fuck is going on.
Yeah.
Because people, it's clever and cute, but I don't think that's for this.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm all for bringing fog machines and coming into the like march to the tables.
yeah,
But if nobody's seen the movie, it's just gonna be really weird.
yeah.
How about this? If you are a European listener, please message the podcast on Facebook or Discord and be like, "Hey, we've seen Dodgeball. It'd be cool." Just let us know.
Mhm.
I want to make a motion to be kind
Mhm.
to Aaron. I can't tell
No.
if he's heaving.
No, I
over
see
the
that
side
he's
of
curled
table.
up in the fetal position.
Yeah.
We're gonna let him hang on the hook there.
I don't think
for
there's any
at least
reason.
30 minutes.
Can we please let him go? He asked very nicely earlier, and I think we should let him
I didn't
let him
ask. Her.
curl
If
up
he-
in peace.
If he dies, he dies.
Didn't you say? Could we please quit?
He said he
earlier?
might have to call it short.
I might not have even showed up. I took a nap at 5:30, and I was like, I'm not setting my alarm. I need to sleep. Turns out I only slept for an hour. So
I mean, Parker has literally died on stream, on podcast. Yeah, and we've had to SWAT his house to make sure he was okay.
What a terrifying thing to say. Oh my gosh.
Jeremy, you ruined the surprise.
Oh God!
They're coming. Parker, look out.
Any moment.
there's 2 months left for Diablo 4.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, ooh.
There are multiple people up at the shop playing the demo or the beta or whatever they call it.
Sure. That was just for a weekend, so I think they're done now.
Mm-hmm.
Everything I've
Are
seen
you,
is positive. Obviously, the game's not going to be fully polished. They're still going to work on it
Mhm.
quite a bit after launch, but almost all the reviews I have followed and seen have overall positive things to say with a couple nitpicks. Go ahead.
The downsides I have heard is it's going to have a battle pass system, which I really hate subscription games that are basically standalones.
But it's going to
I-
be. Is it going to be a paid battle pass? Oh,
Yes.
but an optional battle pass.
Well, I mean, yeah, you don't
Yeah.
technically have to buy anything,
Sure.
but
yeah.
Is the battle pass for what, like cosmetics or?
to my knowledge, no. But also there's the basic game for $60. Then there's a $10 upgrade. Sorry, no, there's a $30 upgrade that's the collector's edition that comes with a 4-day early release. Then on top of that, there's a $20 battle pass, and then on top of that, there's a $10 upgrade to the battle pass that gets you half the battle pass already completed.
Yeah, we're just going to do the $60 and call it good.
Right.
What can I
the
get for
issue I have-
$20,000?
Right. For $20,000, and the collector's edition comes with gold cosmetic wings or something. Whatever. But the thing I don't like is the 4-day early release thing just means that okay, so now we can't play together because you bought the $30 upgrade. Because you would have to make a new character to be starting with me. And they say that there's the level approximation stuff, but that doesn't work for gear. So if you've got legendary items because you've been playing for 4 days, and starting in fucking ragged pants, we're not going to be able to fight the same shit.
See, this
So-
So just
That person will then make a new person to play with you. I don't see that problem with that.
right, but then it's if you're just going to be playing a low level guy anyways, why did you buy the $30 start 4 days early crap? It's just dumb. The whole thing is stupid. I don't know why people get into that.
it's YOLO, right? Or sorry, FOMO. YOLO,
FOMO.
FOMO. It's fear of missing out. You're like, if I get it earlier, I'll have it earlier. You're like, yeah, but
Mhm.
what if the release date was just 4 days later? Would you still do it?
Mhm.
Yeah. You're like, that doesn't make any sense. Okay.
So the paid season pass is only cosmetic. There's no pay to win in the
Yeah,
game
that's what-
at release.
Right. I don't think they've ever done a battle
At
pass.
Immortal
that for
was
that.
when they released that pile of dog poop. So, but
Okay.
actual the
You
1, 2, 3, 4 has always been kind of
you could also
standalone
spend
RPGs
money. You could also spend money on gear in Diablo 3.
initially. Then they did away with
Initially.
it because they're like, this is a horrible idea.
It was really bad. The whole game was basically just shitty when on initial launch.
Right, but it morphed into one of a really good game.
It was a solid game in the later years.
And see, that's actually what I was supposed to say. That is my favorite version of Diablo. Is I wait for everybody else to play it and like get really, really good, know how to do it, and then I come in, get carried up to shit I need in half the time it would take me to get it myself, and then play with them. That's
Mm.
like,
But it's not like an MMO. It's not like there's an actual grind, right? Like you can beat the game in like a day, and then
oh no,
you
yeah,
can-
sorry, you're right, not beat the game. I'm talking about playing
Mm.
the best part of the game, which is making broken builds and
Mm.
endlessly killing stuff for loot. Like that's so fun.
I just wish they would do like a wave. So apparently there's gonna be like dungeons, like mini raids you can do, and there's a lot of them, and that's where you're going to get a lot of stuff. There's also you have up to 16 players on a world at a time, and there's world bosses that spawn that take like 12 plus people to beat, but a party size maxes at like 4, I think. Anyway, they're obviously still messing with it, and it's a ways from launch, but
Yeah, they're getting
I'll
feedback that
probably still
says,
buy it.
yay MMO, and other people are like, fuck MMO, right? Like, I want this to be the
Mhm.
solo game that Diablo 1 and 3 were. I don't want an MMO world boss, raids with, dungeons with 24 people. But there are some people who love that shit. So,
No, yeah, I think there's a big hole in the MMO scene. But I don't think Diablo needs to be that. So
no, they they could have created another game. Sorry,
I was gonna say,
it's
Blizzard.
almost like they have another game that is that.
they do.
I was gonna say Blizzard is gonna make the money. That's what the Blizzard's gonna do.
Yeah. Anyway, I'll probably buy it. I'll probably play it. I'll probably enjoy it. But it'll just be something I do in my off time.
Sure, I will definitely be buying it as long as I get my models painted up ahead of time. I'm falling behind.
Well, it's just because you're sick.
Today it was.
Aaron, I assume we will not see you tomorrow,
You will not.
barring divine intervention.
You will not see me tomorrow.
It might just be allergies, though, man.
It's probably just the asthma you
Probably just
got.
fucking asthma. Allergies.
As long as
I have
the
these
pollen's
allergies
really,
come with 102 fever, then yeah, it's just allergies.
it can happen.
Allergies
Those
do.
white flowers will get you.
It's like a shellfish allergy, right?
Shellfish. Did you eat a peanut?
It's like Pam on Archer just eating like imitation crab meat legs repeatedly. Like, I'm only allergic to real crab meat, but these make my throat swell up. She's on her like 14th one. She's like, Pinky swear last one. Like,
Just telling my wife that I had to get I had the runs like all day, but I went early this morning for knew I was sick, and my penis turned into an innie. I had to go find that fucker. I'm like, what the hell? Like, I need you to come out because you need to go pee. And I was like, that was weird. Then I'm like, it made sense when I realized I was really sick. I'm like, oh yeah. The whole body was shrinking in trying to maintain heat.
that's probably the asthma too.
Probably allergic to strawberries. That's what I hear.
Did you have any strawberries?
Yeah, strawberries.
That's gonna be the new thing forever. Is somebody's like deathly ill? Like, did you have some strawberries?
Did you eat a strawberry? Did you
You're
rinse it?
allergic to shellfish, are you?
Yep.
I hear that's a really bad allergy.
Oh my god.
All right. I guess let's go ahead and get out of here. I will see everyone but allergy-ridden Aaron.
I know. Faking it
Hey,
with allergies.
tell the other fucks on my team to send me their shit.
I will. Well, did you find anybody else to be on your team?
No. While I was
Aaron's-
laying on the
Aaron's
couch all day today.
You didn't use the internet? Like, I haven't seen you posting where like, hey guys, I'm looking for 2 teammates. Gosh, dang.
I did not
All right.
post anything.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks for joining, everybody. You have a good one.
Out.
Goodbye.